Hey guys, my name is Koi, and I just wanted to quickly show you the build I've played last week, and it's a cast-on crit assassin. There is no real reason why it's an assassin, I just wanted to play one. He gives a lot of crit, we need a lot of crit, so it's a good fit. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this build archetype, here is a short explanation. We're using Cyclone as an attack to trigger linked spells. Every time we hit the enemy with a critical hit, we trigger a spell, and in this case it's Vortex of Projection, dealing a lot of cold damage. We are using Vortex of Projection because this one can be cast on Frostbolts for even more damage and area. These Frostbolts are also automatically cast with this sword, Cospre's Malice, which allows us to trigger another cold spell on melee critical hit. But here comes the tricky part. Cast on Critical Strike has a cooldown. Fortunately, we can reduce this cooldown, but for that we need to reach certain thresholds or breakpoints, allowing us to increase our attack speed, and therefore our trigger rate of the Vortex spell. If you look at this table, you can see how much CDR we need to increase our attack speed up to that limit. In this build, we easily reach the 52% cooldown recovery, so we can increase our attacks per second up to 10.1. We only need a level 5 awakened cast on Critical Strike support, and 20% cooldown recovery rate on our Shaper Influence belt. Note that there are Abyss Jewels that can have up to 3% CDR too, and if you're using a Skin of the Lord, you don't need that much CDR on your belt anymore since it gives our cast on crit support another 2 levels, and with them even more CDR. However, never ever build more attack speed than what the limit says. If we would do 10.2 attacks per second, we would actually lose damage. In my setup, I have 9.9 APS, which is totally fine. This may sound complicated to build around, but it actually isn't. To reach my 9.9 APS, you just need a weapon with 14% attack speed, 5 frenzy charges, and the following skill. This Cyclone version attacks much faster than the normal one, so we don't need any more attack speed from other sources. The downside of the alternative Cyclone skill is that we are heavily slowed down while spinning. That's why we use the Stampede, because these boots make us basically always move at 150% speed no matter what the Cyclone skill says. We can still be slowed down by chill effects and such things, but not by the Cyclone downside anymore. And that are basically the core items you need for the build to function well. All the other stuff is only for increasing damage by getting extra damage, increasing cold damage, increasing gem levels, stacking power charges, and all the stuff you do to scale spells. And of course, we need to fix our accuracy. If we miss the enemy, we cannot deal a critical strike. Until you have the passive points to spend on accuracy rating, you can use this shield. With it, you will always hit. On the defense side, we heavily rely on evasion and freeze, while mapping I don't usually die since the enemies are almost always frozen. Our damage is good enough to do T17s and some Ubers, however, if you don't play like a god and dodge all the dangerous stuff, you probably gonna die a few times when doing these bosses. At least I did. But in the end, I still won. For leveling, I suggest to level any spell build you like and switch to this one later. You actually can build a cast on crit setup even for leveling, and it kind of works, but the real deal starts at level 68 when you can equip that sword. That should be it. Thanks for watching. Greetings from Germany, and I hope to see you in the next video.